Hey, it's Mike with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Monday. It's June 10th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And real quick, look at our daily chart. You can see that we closed up. It's kind of an inside day. Looks like congestion there. Notice we are bouncing off of that support resistance line. It's acting as support. It has multiple times, 3 days in a row. 3 trading days in a row. It looks like it's also bouncing off the midline of this large green channel. Um, this market still wants to go higher the way it's acting. So we have relieved some of the overbought. We're still up in the upper edges of it, but there's still room to go higher here before we would expect another correction. So that wouldn't surprise me at all if this market continues to go higher. So it's questionable if we've got a break here. We've talked about this a few times. It looks like a break, but it's not real convincing close outside, and it could be my lines just off slightly. So maybe there is no break. Maybe we bounced off. Maybe it's more like that. Still fits there. And then there's no close outside yet. So we'll just have to see. That's the thing. I've talked about this before. It's the issue with the daily chart. It just gives us an idea longer term where we might be headed, but it's so slow because each bar is a full day. So where this might only take 15 minutes to an hour to resolve on a 2000 tick chart, it's taking 3 or 4 days to resolve on a daily chart. So it just moves so much slower. Your signals are much slower to come, and it's a little bit more difficult to read than a quicker chart like a 2000 tick intraday chart. So keep that in mind. But this market seems to want to go higher. Don't argue with it. It just keeps pushing higher. We had this two-legged correction here. That could be the center of a pattern so we could get another equal leg up similar to this one right here, from down here to here. So if it is, we've got a long way to go to the upside. So just hang in there. Be careful getting long on your intraday chart at the highs. Let those areas prove themselves out first. It'll be make it a lot. The market will be much kinder to you. But let's flip over to the 2000 tick chart and take a look. Started out as a range day. We ended up going higher, but it moved about almost a perfect measured move equal to the original range. So it's just mostly a range day, but we did have some up movement during the day. So let's flip over there and take a look. Okay, here it is. You can see the early overnight highs and overnight lows down here. And we ended up moving, this line's an equal distance, and we moved a perfect measured move and closed down in the middle of the upper half of this range here. So most of the movement for the day was up. So I'd call this an up day, but this is how we got there to this target up here was by finding the original range and then finding an equal distance. And that would be this dash line across here. And you see we went to that almost to the tick before it turned down and just started working sideways again. You had to be patient today. It was real choppy and not many entries here early on. We had a little better afternoon, but let's zoom in here. I'll show you what I saw. There's no news. Oops. No news today, so we didn't have to worry about any news. But early on, we had this trend working up. We had a close outside and 2 swings to a new high. It's basically a double top there as well. I like going short there. The problem is it didn't break lower till this bar. You still could probably enter there if you wanted, being that far away from the EMA. I marked it green. I'm not crazy about it. I'd wait for something better. And you have to wait a while before you get anything because there's no setups here at all to go short or long. And then we end up making a little higher low down here from the original overnight low, but it just bounces back into the range. This pink range, we had this pink range going on for a while. Really tight, very low volume here. Be careful with this stuff. We did get back into the range and we tested it 1, 2, 3 times. And it's also a first entry, second entry. And this signal bar, it's like 4 ticks, very low risk. I like going long there. It was a quick, easy move. You probably get a runner on that. Obviously, you'd probably exit right in here, but excuse me, you probably exit in this stuff here, but you know, it was a quick, easy move there, and you probably get a runner for a couple of points out of a runner. I mean, if you just look, there's 3.5 points there. So it does push on through, comes back, tested a few times, but we really don't get a setup to go long. It's tempting to go short here, and you could go short. It's a double top. It looks a little congested. It's way away from the EMA, just like this, but that is a lower high. So you could go short right there if you wanted. Or maybe you just wait and see if you get something better. You had to really be patient, like I said, though, and wait till almost lunchtime today, because there's just not much happening here. I mean, we're pushing higher here, but there's no setups, and it's all very congested. We don't even come back to the key entry point. We keep bouncing off this EMA, and they're all first entries. So they're just not a very good setup here. Maybe you take this one here. Because how many times we bounced off the EMA there, got a decent signal bar. Plus it's a 1, 2, 3 triple test here. You actually would have had to go long on the triple test when it broke above these two. But when these made if you didn't go long there, so basically you could take either one of those and make it green. So if you didn't go long on this one, when this one made an equal low, you could have gone long on it. Same thing. I'd make them both green. I'm not crazy about either one of them. And then we get up here and we start bouncing off this midline all the way up. You get a second entry here, but too congested, not a very good signal bar. But here we get one, we get a break, a new low, a big reversal bar. I like going long there. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you a big move, but it's a quick, easy scalp. And then we're headed back to the other side again. And here we get a break. And notice we get a one. This was a breakout. Notice we broke out above the highs of the range here. And this is the pullback and retest. Almost all breakouts fail, even if they're going higher. And you can see, even though this went higher, it eventually comes back and it fails and retests this. But notice you get a 1, 2, 3 triple test, and this makes a higher high, so that's also a first entry, second entry. So that's a great setup. You've already had your break and new low here, and then a double bottom, and look at that thing go. That's the trade of the day. If you caught that one trade, that's all you need today, and that's a pretty much a textbook type setup. 13 points of movement. If you just went to the first bar, they got a break below it that was negative, that was bearish, you get 11 points. Here's one that had a break below. It's not real bearish, but if you do that, you get 5.5. But if you wait till you get this red bar, you get 11 full points there. And of course, now you got your break and new high, and it corrects. I don't see anything that I really like to the. Actually, it comes back. You got a trend back, you get a break and new low, and you get a second entry long there with a good signal bar right off the key entry point. I think you have to take that. Again, it doesn't just take off, but it's a quick, easy scalp, and it reverses, and then we get our trend down. It comes back, it retests this again. You get another bounce off this support resistance. Again, it acts as support. Then you get a higher low here with a decent signal bar, still way away from the EMA. I like that one. And again, if you catch that, you probably catch a runner. Now you may not hold it through all this, but still there's a nice handful of points up to there. It goes sideways here. I don't see anything I like there. Comes back. Notice too that you get a break here of this green trend and then two legs up to a new high. It makes a perfect measured move, gets you a very bearish bar way away from the EMA. Again, you're always better off to wait on the lower high here, but that's pretty tempting right there. I like that trade. Comes back, gives you the lower high here. I don't know if this broke higher or turned down first. I think it breaks higher and then turns down. If it does break higher, you could enter on the engulfing bar one tick below this one. If it broke lower first, then comes back, you got to wait for this to close, and then you can go short one tick below there. I'm fairly certain it broke higher, but I can't swear to that. I cannot remember. But if it broke higher and failed and turned down, you could enter that on the engulfing bar if you wanted, because this is a very bullish bar. It's probably going to act as a trap. But even if you don't enter there, it comes back a few minutes later and gives you a failure and also a first entry, second entry short right at the key entry point with a nice signal bar. And that takes us into 2:30. So the afternoon, generally your mornings are your better trading. Not today. We had a decent afternoon with a very slow and poor morning. So, but that's just the way this market is lately. It seems like Mondays have been slower recently, especially when we came back from the Memorial Day holiday. It seemed like it was much slower, and that's just the way the market is. It slows down in the summertime a lot of times. Kids are out of school, traders are taking off, taking vacation, spending time with their kids, going on, like I said, going on vacations or whatever. So the market tends to be slower in the summertime, and generally it'll pick back up in August when school starts back again. And my guess is that's probably what we'll. And we are going into an election year, so it'll probably pick back up going into that election. The market may stay guarded going into that election. This could, I got a feeling if we thought the last election was crazy 4 years ago, this one's going to be probably insane. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, it's just anything's possible. So just be prepared. Don't be afraid not to trade a day. If it's like this and there's just nothing going on, don't force trades. Just sit tight. Go play golf. Go play with your dog. Go play with your kids. Do whatever you do for enjoyment. Don't feel like you have to trade every day, because no trade today would be much better than a losing trade by entering some crazy trade and all this crazy choppiness. So don't be afraid to take the day off or not take a trade at all, or just sit there. Now, if you're learning in sim trading, take every trade that fits our criteria that you think you should take, that you think fits the criteria, and use that to study. I want to repeat this because I say it all the time and people just do not get it. Not only do you have to learn this strategy, you can learn this, some people can learn this strategy quickly, but you still need the experience and the screen time of understanding what you're doing, learning to trust the setups. And the only way you do that is by lots of trading. So if you're trading, if you're on the simulator trying to double your account and you're only taking 2 or 3 trades a day, you're not going to learn much. So that's not the idea. The idea on the simulator, especially in the beginning, is to get screen time and experience and lots of trades in. So you want to take every single trade. Listen to me say this again. On the simulator early on, while you're learning, you want to take every single trade that you think meets our criteria of entry, that you think is a good trade. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just take every trade that you think meets our criteria. Don't monkey around with the trade. Either be right or wrong, and don't worry about it. Just take the trades, and then at the end of the day, study them. And that's how you get screen time. That's how you get experience taking the trades. You'll learn your tendencies. You'll be able to correct them much easier because you're getting that practice and that experience. Just assume you're trying to play the piano professionally. How good do you think you're going to get playing for 15 or 20 minutes here and there every day. Not very good. But if you sit there for hours every day and you're playing over and over, you're going to get better a lot faster. Trading's no different. This is a skill. To learn to read this chart and learn to see the trades and take them, you need to be taking every single trade. Don't worry about doubling your account right now. You're nowhere near that yet. Practice, get better, and then worry about doubling your account once you start to get it and you start to get consistent. If you start getting it and get consistent, you'll only take the best trades and you'll start to build your account and then worry about doubling your account. But that shouldn't be your goal early on. Early on, your goal should be to get in here and trade as much as you can because you need that practice. You need that screen time. It's like flying an airplane. If you're doing it on the simulator, if you're not up there flying or sitting in the simulator every day flying, you're not getting any experience. It's the same thing with trading. If you're not taking the trades and you're just sitting there looking at the screen, you're not getting much experience and you're not going to learn much. So make sure you understand that. I say it all the time, but every time I turn around, somebody will send me an email and they're not doing that. They think they're further progressed than that, or they think that, well, I'm trying to double my account so I can go live. Everybody wants to go live way too soon. That's the biggest mistake you'll ever make. You don't want to go live until you've proven you can do it on the simulator. If you can't do it on the simulator, you dang sure can't do it live, because you're trading the same exact live data. So it's the same thing. If you can't do it on the simulator, how are you going to do it live? And some people say, well, it's easy on the simulator, but when I try to go live, it changes everything, so I change my trading. Well, then you just don't have enough experience yet. You're not getting good enough at it yet. You haven't done it enough. You don't have enough screen time. You don't have enough experience. You need that. So stick to the simulator. Don't be so eager to go live and give your hard-earned trading capital to somebody that knows what they're doing, because that's exactly what's going to happen. I can tell you ahead of time, you don't need a crystal ball. You don't need a seer or a fortune teller. I can tell you that's what's going to happen, because that's what happens to everybody. They either give up because they realize it's too hard and it's going to take more time and effort than they thought, or they go live too soon and they go broke, and then they give up. They don't have any choice because they went broke. So don't be that person. If you really want to do this for anything more than a hobby, if it's just a hobby, have at it. Do what you want to do. But if you really want to do this professionally and make money at it, listen to what I'm telling you. Get on the simulator, take every trade every day, everyone you think that fits our criteria, until you learn and get good at this and get enough experience and screen time. And then it'll come much easier to you. And you'll start to prove to yourself that it works. Because some people say, I don't know I know the setups, but I can't trust them. Well, that's because you hadn't traded enough to see they work. Get on the simulator and trade them and prove to you they work. And then you have more confidence in them. Same thing. I hear that all the time. I got the strategy down, but I just can't trust it. I can't make myself trust it. Well, that's because you haven't proven it to yourself. Get on the simulator and prove it to yourself. And then you'll be able to trust it. It all boils down to simulation time. And if you think you're too good, if you're not making money, but yet you think you're too experienced to be on the simulator, well, you're just shooting yourself in the foot and lying to yourself. If you're not making money yet, you don't need to be trading live. I don't care whether it's proprietary money or what. You're just fooling yourself. And people get mad at me when I tell them they need to be on the simulator. Oh, that's the newbie stuff. No. That's anybody's not profitable. Get on the simulator, get the experience, hone your skill set, prove to yourself that you can do it, prove to yourself that you can find the right set entries and enter them and that they work. So you gain confidence in not only your trading, but the strategy itself. That's how you do this. So anyway, that's enough on that. I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.